2014, China started carrying out its plan to attack 5 countries at once. It started building islands, military islands, right here in the South China Sea, inside the borders of other countries. These fake islands had ports, air bases, and anti-aircraft guns, all ready in case of a war. In just 2 years, China has made not 1, not 2, but 7 of these islands in other countries' borders without their permission. This is one of the reasons why US Army experts believe that these islands, right here in the South China Sea, have the highest chance of instigating World War III. And it all starts with the CCP and their unwillingness to respect other countries' borders. So, in this video, let's go over why the South China Sea is so important to the world and why China is willing to start World War III just to control these parts of the sea.
A new report suggests that China is now planning to build a secret naval base in Cambodia.
Millions of tons of material have been dredged up to build this huge new island.
Enemy military aircraft. I'm warning you again. Leave immediately.
So before we get into why China is willing to fight so many countries over the South China Sea, first, let's go over what makes this area so important. The South China Sea is a marginal sea in the Pacific Ocean, bounded by South China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Indonesia. This region is believed to have around 28 billion barrels of oil reserves, 266 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, and holds 1/3 of the entire world's marine biodiversity, thereby making it a very important area for the ecosystem, even if fish stocks in the area are rapidly depleting. If all these weren't reason enough, the South China Sea is a very important trade route. As of 2019, around $3.37 trillion worth of global trade passes through this region annually. The main route to and from Pacific and Indian Ocean ports is through the Strait of Malacca and the South China Sea. Generally, oil and minerals move north, and food and manufactured goods move south. As I've covered in my previous videos, China is heavily dependent on oil imports to fuel its economy and its industries. Roughly 50% of Chinese oil imports come from the Middle East, and that oil sails through the South China Sea. And as you guys have already heard the last 1,000 times I've said it, China is the world's manufacturing hub, and its economic growth is fueled by selling those manufactured goods to the rest of the world. A big part of China's exports flow through the South China Sea into the rest of the world. So I'm sure you guys can see that the South China Sea is very important to China. But does that mean that it belongs to China?